Deadshot, the world's deadliest marksman explored. Worst part of it is, they are going to blame us for the whole thing, and they can't have people knowing the truth. We are the patsies, the cover-up. Don't forget, we are the bad guys. Said the man who was once paid a pretty hefty amount to execute a very difficult assassination. A part of the task had him carve out the heart of his victim and send it over to the client. We are talking about Deadshot here, one who is also known as the Exterminator, assassin for hire, human arsenal, the man who never misses, serial killer who takes credit cards, and the world's top marksman. Born as Floyd Lawton, the man behind the laser eye mask may not be a metahuman, but hey, that does not stop him from being the world's deadliest marksman. Mark our words when we say Deadshot does not just tag his targets, he nails them with utmost precision. His exceeding levels of fitness as well as training makes him do the impossible. We are talking about ducking and approaching headshot while pulling one off himself at the same time. Well, today we are going to explore in depth about Deadshot, the anti-hero who has solidified his reputation as the world's finest shot. Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you. Let's begin.
Ouch! Do I have your attention now? Don't break cover.
Deadshot and his mean personality. Born on April 12, 1987, Floyd Lawton was the product of an unhappy marriage, and by the time he was in his 20s, he was not only a hardened criminal but was also quite popular for going in and out of prisons all the time because of his felonious activities. While it is no secret that Floyd started his career as a vigilante in Gotham City, he eventually became the most wanted hitman in the world. Also, thanks to his incredible skills that made him evolve into an overpriced assassin, bragging about a long list of elite clients just in case you didn't know. In fact, there's a very famous dialogue of Deadshot which says, "You know the rules, no money, no honey."
Paid until what needs to get done gets done.
Nope, that's not the rules. No money, no honey.
This clearly shows as long as he is paid to kill, he will execute it and he will do it without mercy. But then again, of course, there are exceptions to his operating principles. No women, and definitely no children. By now, it is given that he will carry things out only after the money is first credited to him. Plus, there is no guarantee that he would not threaten his clients for more money at times, even asking them to double his initial payment. Speaking of his personality, there's sarcasm, followed by an extremely difficult attitude to deal with, and let's not forget, Deadshot is able to work effortlessly even if he is placed under the peak of pressure. Post getting captured by Batman, Deadshot was put behind the bars of Belle Reef, only to be recruited later by Amanda Waller and made to be a part of the government-sanctioned expendable Black Ops unit, Task Force X, colloquially known as the Suicide Squad. But in spite of that tough attitude, Deadshot easily manages to start a friendship with Harley Quinn as well as sympathize with El Diablo after getting to know of his past dark secret. The fact that he is highly respected by his teammates also shows on the amount of influence that he has over them. Next comes his daughter Zoe. There's no denying that he is exceedingly fond of her and cares for her very deeply, so much so that he is seen keeping a photo of Zoe all throughout his time as a hitman and an inmate. As mentioned before, he is also seen having a rather contentious work code of not having any women or children as his targets. This is particularly seen when Waller tries to manipulate Deadshot into shooting Quinn, and in return promises him his freedom. Of course, Deadshot is tempted by her offer, and it shows too when he aims at her, but for a man who never misses a shot, he is more than happy to say that he missed. This not only shows his character maintaining an uncompromisingly strict moral code, but also throws light on his equation with Quinn. One of his most distinguishing characteristic traits is his known death wish, which often shows when he intentionally brings about situations that are most likely to kill him. This makes him quite volatile, or let's say unpredictable, as an enemy because his readiness to die permits him to knowingly hurt himself in order to reach a goal. Deadshot in the animated universe. Officially voiced by Michael Rosenbaum, Floyd Lawton aka Deadshot has prepared on Cartoon Network's Justice League as well as Justice League Unlimited in The Enemy Below Part 1, the 6th episode of the first season of Justice League. Deadshot is employed by Ocean Master to kill Aquaman, but with the assassin's assassination attempted getting foiled, Deadshot eventually gets caught by the League. In Hereafter, the 19th episode of the second season of Justice League, Deadshot is seen appearing with many supervillains, causing absolute chaos in Metropolis and celebrating the supposed death of Superman. Well, of course, our assassin's target happens to be Batman, but his plans get thwarted with Superman stopping his bullet and then him getting knocked out by Batman. Speaking of Task Force X, the 4th episode of the second season of Justice League Unlimited, Lawton's execution gets canceled when Colonel Rick Flag has him enrolled into a government unit of supervillains that go on high-risk missions. Thinking, what's the barter? Well, nothing better than a reduced sentence, eh? Next, voiced by Tom Kenny, the character has also appeared in James Tucker and Michael Jelenick's animated TV series Batman the Brave and the Bold, based in part on the DC comic series The Brave and the Bold. In the 6th episode of the 3rd season titled Night of the Batmen, during the absence of Batman, Deadshot is seen going on a literal crime spree in Gotham with plenty of other villains, only to get defeated by Green Arrow impersonating Batman. Why is Deadshot so lethal? Just a single glance at his physique and you will know that he is literally in his top physical condition. So what if he is in prison? Does that stop him from doing vigorous workouts? The answer is a big bold no. Well, it did take a whole team of Argus agents boasting riot shields to pin him down and restrain him after his cell was open, but then also he was easily able to kick at least 2 of them to the ground. So you get a fair idea, right? Speaking of his strength, he is physically very strong, right from cracking cement by punching, ripping out his chains in Chinook 2, breaking the lock to the golden tree bar, to enduring brutal beatings of the Argus agents and recovering right after receiving a superhumanly strong blow from Incubus. Deadshot is exceedingly durable. Have you ever wondered why he is viewed as the world's deadliest marksman? Well, if you go by his records, you will see that he has never really missed a target in his life, except for Batman. He is an expert combatant and apparently his skill in shooting is even better than the Dark Knight thanks to that high-tech eye patch. Shooting the same target again and again with multiple different guns, single-handedly taking down an enchantress horde of monstrous troops. Deadshot is quite a professional. In fact, he is considered deadly even when he is at a distance of 4 kilometers, which comes to 2.49 miles. If you think it's Katana and El Diablo who come under the category of the most dangerous human beings on Earth, well, don't forget to add Deadshot in that very list. The master assassin here can assassinate his target within split seconds after the payment is done. Of course, he has to be satisfied with the amount that he's getting credited, but then that is just how Deadshot is. We have talked about him having an elite clientele, so please know that before he was captured by Batman in the prison at Belle Reve, he was literally the most wanted hitman in the world. Ever heard someone say, I am the best at what I do because I think through every contingency. When the wind changes, I am the one who knows by how much. Well, that's precisely what makes him an expert strategist. He will actually think through every possibility and then chalk out things to the very last detail. Also, the sole fact that he has previously been a member of the Boy Scouts as well as the US Special Forces helps him to carefully plan for all of his shootings. He is also a very skilled leader. There have been several instances where his character is seen to calm down Harley Quinn, thus having a certain degree of influence on all of his Suicide Squad members. Apart from these, let's take a look at his equipment. We know he wears a bulletproof combat suit that has worked out in his favor for most of the time. He is also seen wearing a white ballistic face mask, one that covers his whole head as well as neck, but it is the high-tech eye patch that he dons over his left eye, which is the highlight of his whole hitman look. The laser eye patch not only enhances his shooting skills, but when it gets combined with the scope of his sniper rifle, there's just no stopping him from missing his target.
Pleasure doing business with you, Angie.
Why Will Smith did not return as Deadshot. Those who have seen James Gunn's 2021 superhero flick, The Suicide Squad, will know that the movie did not have Will Smith return as Deadshot. While the film was a follow-up to David Ayer's 2016 superhero flick also titled Suicide Squad and had some of the surviving characters from the previous film making a comeback, Will Smith's Deadshot was nowhere in the picture. Surprisingly, Idris Elba was casted in the 2021 movie, and most of the fans actually thought that it was Elba who was going to portray the character of Deadshot. Thank God it was not the case. Not even with Idris Elba playing the role of Bloodsport, who by the way happens to be a mercenary in the movie. Coming back to Will Smith, a lot of people actually thought that the actor did not want to return as Deadshot in James Gunn's movie because of the negative reactions Ayer received. That was definitely not the case, and Smith even clarified it later, addressing it as a timing issue. Also, after learning that Idris Elba was playing an entirely different character, Smith said, and we quote, "Cool, I can come back." Well, this will certainly be interesting to see a face-off between Deadshot and Bloodsport, given that both of their characters are expert tacticians, quick thinkers, and most importantly, on-point marksmen. We are also cool with both of them teaming up together as a team. Let's hope DC has plans of diversifying the characters sometime soon. Is Deadshot officially dead in the DC universe? Guess it is already official that in the DC Comics Suicide Squad, the character has been shot dead. It was DC that announced Floyd Lawton would be killed in Tom Taylor's latest series. Of course, it did come as a shock because the character of Deadshot was so close to being free from Task Force X, but what was supposed to be the character's final mission before attaining freedom became his last mission in life. If you look at the last few issues of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo, you will realize that both Harley Quinn and Deadshot had been part of more than enough missions to earn their freedom. In fact, they were actually done with their sentences, but sadly, their characters were never really informed about it. Black Mask is eventually disclosed to be Deadshot's killer in Suicide Squad number 9 when he kicks Deadshot out of the window and the ladder falls to his death. What makes this death even more tragic is the simple fact that he was literally so close to getting what he really wanted in his life, to be free with his daughter. So, if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks everyone.